Yep. Bob Show 97.9. Listen, y'all. I already know today is Monday. Everybody trying to get back geared up, man, and get back in the zone and in their work zone or whatever, man. But we're at the end of the day, and guess what? Now you're tuning in to the Vibe Show to get those good vibes. And I have another exclusive for y'all tonight. I'm talking about an amazing actress. Not only that, but she does so many different things. And I cannot wait to get into this interview here. I'm talking about actress, the one and only Cheyenne Rae Hernandez. Let's get her in here.
Hi.
Yes, what's going on?
Nothing, COVID.
Oh, I already know COVID is just bad. Look, being that you already said that already, let's just go ahead on and discuss how it's been with you since your 2020. How's your 2020 been?
I mean, I'm a homebody. I don't really go out. So nothing much has really changed for me, other than audition processes have gotten a lot more difficult. I like the in-person audition because I can get an idea of, okay, what do you want from this character so I can deliver. Now I can't ask questions. So they give you the script, and yeah, I miss that person-to-person connection, you know? But
so it's like it's more so virtual auditions now.
Self-tapes. So they send you the script, you tape it, and then you send it in. But you can't ask questions or anything like that. So it's more difficult, but adjusting.
Right. Well, you're a pro. So it's not that hard for you. Has everybody been good as far as with your family and stuff like that or whatever? Because I mean, this thing just hit everybody out the blue. So has all of your family, everybody's been good?
Oh yeah, I'm Latina, so Vicks cures everything. So
wait a minute, hold up. Now I just learned something. Wait a minute. Now tell me the cure so I can know too. What's the cure?
My grandma's convinced that if you put Vicks on your chest and your feet and you put it the socks and everything, that you're just not going to get COVID. So maybe she's onto something because she hasn't gotten it. So.
Right. I'm writing that. I'm writing that down because you just never know, man. And look, that's from the older heads. They know. So I'm writing that down. Vicks. I'm going and stock up on me some Vicks now, and I'm pretty sure all the rest of the listeners gonna go stock up on some Vicks too.
Yeah, I'm like, Mama, just wear a mask. Just put on the mask.
Right. Well, how does she feel about the mask? I know she don't like that, huh?
No, she doesn't.
Right. I already know it already. So that's good that everybody's been safe. Shout out to Vibe Show Casper on the checking in, showing my special guest so much love. Now you've been doing a lot. And now I want to go back a little bit just to give my listeners a little bit of insight on, has it always been the acting game for you, or what were you doing before the acting game, and what inspired you to want to become an actress?
My brother Isaiah and we have always been performers. When I was a kid, my family was constantly having to endure sitting in the living room and watching our dumb little shows. We had magic shows. We recreate movies. We recreated that movie Jumper, and we were jumping off the roof into the pool. I mean, yeah. We had no adult supervision, but so yeah. We'd always wanted to be actors. We always said one day we're going to be on the big screen. It's going to happen. The thing is, we come from a small town, El Paso, Texas.
Right.
So I couldn't just jump into acting because there was no actors that I knew. There was nobody that was in the industry.
Right.
And I knew that I wanted to get out of my parents' house. I knew that I wanted to not owe anybody anything. And I wanted to help people, and I wanted to do good. And so I joined the military. And so I served in the Army. I was a combat medic. And my brother Isaiah was 2 weeks away from leaving to basic training. He was going to try to get stationed with me, and then we were going to continue our journey there.
Right.
But unfortunately, him and my other brother Joshua were both killed by a drunk driver on
What?
Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Thanks. So it was life changing. I mean, I was a mess. The Army actually put me on very heavy medication because you're not really allowed to have emotions in the Army. So they kind of made me into a zombie. I was taking Lexapro, Topamax. I was just a zombie. And so I wound up getting in a really bad military accident, so I can't feel any of this or that. And I got discharged from the military, and I had promised Isaiah at his funeral I was going to live out our dreams for all of us.
Right.
And so I realized, but at this point, I mean, I'm suicidal, I'm drinking a lot. I mean, I was just in a really, really bad place. And I realized that if he's looking down on me right now, how disappointed is he? You know,
Right.
I wasn't doing anything that I said I was going to do. I wasn't living for all of us. I had given up. And so it was from one day to the next that I decided to pack up my cat and all of my stuff and move. And I drove my cat. My grandma helped me drive my cat to Texas, where she watched my cat. And then I drove up to LA, and I was homeless in LA for a while. I was living out of my car or staying on friends' couches. I did this acting program, and then I went up to the people who ran it, and I just kind of said, look, I need 3 minutes of your time. And they're like, okay, that's really specific. And I just said, I just need to get around the industry. Can I follow you around? I'll bring you coffee. I'll do whatever you guys say. I'll help out. Just I won't get in your way. Just let me learn. And so they were like, sure, I guess. And so I became an intern there. And then I worked my way up to, I learned a lot about improv. And so they had an improv class for children. Right. So I worked my way up to be able to teach that improv class. And so I was teaching that improv class, and all the parents that were coming in from everywhere, they were like telling the owners of that company, they're like, she's amazing. She's so good. She's good with the kids. She's a great actor. So eventually an acting coach that was a big deal there. Her name's Joey Paul Jensen. And I mean, she's my guardian angel. She heard about me there, and she's like, okay, I have to meet this girl. And so she came up, and I have no idea what she saw in me, but she got this really weird look about her. And she said, I see something in you. And she's like, I want to work with you. I think we can do this. And little did I know that she meant that. I mean, she really meant that. Yeah, she took me and she introduced me to my manager. And she said, look, he's probably not going to sign you. He's kind of a big deal. He doesn't sign any new talent, but I want to get his opinion on you, and I want you to talk to him. And so I said, okay. And I walk in and I meet him. He's terrifying. And so it was kind of, you could tell that he wasn't all on board with me.
Right.
And then, and it was one question, and he said, let me ask you this. How do you approach auditions? And I said, well, can I cuss on here first?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. And I said, well, Mitchell, I'll kick the fucking door in. And he was like, okay. So he signed me right there. And I mean, it was like a crazy blessing. And again, he just said, I see something in you. So then from there, I go to my first audition in Hollywood, which is for a different show that David Ayer was working on.
Right.
And so Mitchell and Joey, they were just kind of like, look, you're probably not going to get the role. This is your first audition, but let's see where it goes. It's a learning experience. You'll get some stuff on your belt. And so I said, okay. And I went in and I got a call back, and we couldn't believe it. And then, so I go on audition again, get another call back. And at this point, all of us are like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
And so we really thought I was going to get the role, but then we get a call that show wasn't going to move forward. So, I mean, I was devastated. It really sucked.
Right.
But then I get a text from David Ayer, and it just said, look, you're going to be big. I see something in you. Be here at this time. So, I mean, when David Ayer says, be somewhere, you go, right?
Right.
And so I show up, and it's me, Cynthia Carmona, Conejo, and Bobby Soto. And so we all sit down, and we're like, what are we doing here? And nobody had any idea. And so David, he was late, and so all of us are at this point freaking out.
Right.
He walks in, sits down, he like just pulls up a chair, sits in front of us, gives us the whole plot to tax collector, and he's like, okay, you're gonna be Gata, you're gonna be Conejo, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be this. He's like, any questions?
Wow.
And we're like, no.
Right, like, no, I don't. Wow.
And so then I had to call my manager, and I was like, hey, yeah, something happened. So it was like that, but that was the whole story.
That's how it happened? Yeah. Wow. That is like simply amazing. So now at this point, like, you know, you hadn't really taken any classes or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like an organic thing for you.
So the thing is I had researched a lot on my own. I didn't have money for real classes.
Right.
I had taken an acting program. That was kind of the schooling that I had. And when I was working in, because I was stationed in Hawaii, and so I booked a couple of commercials out there.
Right.
And because I didn't have experience, nobody would sign me in an agency out there. So they're like, come back when you have more commercial experience, more this experience. So I went home and I was on YouTube. I was Googling commercial experience, you know? And so I was researching as much as I could and just packing it in. And then when I went back, they're like, do you have experience? And I said, yeah, I got experience. I mean, I wasn't lying.
Right. Absolutely. That's, you know what? That's dope. That's dope. So like, you know, I'm just amazed on like the whole LA experience, like moving to LA type thing. Wow, like because I hear this story often, and it always ends up being like the same. You know, pursuing the dream, moving out to LA, being homeless, you know, the whole sleeping on sofas, just barely making it, and then something magical happens.
Yeah.
You know, like how was the transition as far as like, you know, coming from El Paso to like LA, you know, like it's fast paced, the people are different. Like, you know, like how hard was it for you to make the adjustment though to the culture there?
The thing is with the military, I had to learn how to adjust very quick because I went from El Paso to all of a sudden, I mean, I had never heard accents before, really. El Paso, we all, I mean, it doesn't matter what color you are, we all speak Spanglish, you know? So I had never seen anything other than that, really. So I remember joining the military, and I mean, it was just a bombshell, like all walks of life. And so I kind of adjusted to that. And then, I mean, I was a female attached to an infantry unit where they didn't really like females in an infantry unit. So my life sucked. I mean, let me tell you, my life sucked. And so I flew under the radar. I didn't really talk to people. I didn't really have any friends. I mean, I used to go buy pigskin from the market, and all weekend long I would watch Game of Thrones or Walking Dead and suture pigskin. Like literally, I would sit there perfecting my sutures. And so it's like I got used to being a grunt. I got used to being a dude. And then I went into LA, where all of a sudden, you know, these beautiful women are talking to me about makeup and purses, and I was like, what? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. And so I think that for a while I was definitely an outcast. I mean, I've never really fit in. Let me say that. I've never fit in anywhere that I was. I was always weird. I still am. And I mean, now I'm proud of it. Now I own it. I'm like, yeah, I'm a weirdo. It is what it is.
Yeah,
but before I was really insecure about it. And so moving to LA, that was terrifying. It was like I felt like I was so desperate to fit in that I was making myself not fit in even more.
Right,
Um,
right,
I didn't really get the hang of it until I just kind of threw my hands up and I was like, all right, I am who I am, like deal with it. And that's when I met, you know, my true friends that I have now. And I think that the real people appreciate, even if you're weird as hell, they appreciate that
right,
you're being real. Like
right,
George Lopez, he thinks I'm weird. Like I mean, he knows I'm weird, but I mean, he likes me because I'm me, you
right,
know?
right, right. I think that that's great, you know, that you made the adjustment like that. I mean, we're basically just being yourself. Um,
Yeah.
I think that that's, you know, that's really dope. But like, you know, the thing about it, watching you on film, it's like I can see what they seen, you know, the greatness, because it's like you're natural with this, you know. But I guess it did help with, like you said, as a child, you guys were already acting, you know, acting and doing different things or whatever. I think that that really helped, but I'm just saying, like, you really like have that natural ability on film. It's like you've been doing this for years. And for them to say that, and they've been in the game for a while, that's got to be a good feeling. How do your people back home, like, how do they feel seeing you and knowing that you're in the business?
Proud and probably really relieved because everybody was trying to talk me out of it. Like they're like, "This is a 1 in a million chance. What are you doing? Go to college." But I had no interest in going to college. I went for my family for a bit. I got my associates in health science with an emphasis on cardiac arrhythmia because I wanted to go be a heart doctor. I don't like that stuff, so I was doing it because I think that people get it in their head that, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This
Right,
is the wheel. I'm a cog in a wheel. And it's like some people do want to go to college. And so that, I mean, they're following their dream. That's awesome. But some people just don't. And I feel like the more that I was listening to everybody telling me what I should be doing, the unhappier I was getting.
right,
And
right,
so I mean, everyone was really upset when I went to LA. I mean, everyone was begging me not to do it. I remember I would get myself in really rough situations, and I couldn't call my family because I knew that they were already disappointed that I was there. So
right,
imagine if I call them saying my car just broke down and that's where I'm living right now.
right,
Um,
right.
and so it was terrifying
Then it'll be,
to
see, I told you, you need to come home. I told you that wasn't gonna work out.
exactly, exactly. And so I couldn't call anybody. And then finally, when stuff started to happen, it was like my family would, it was the same with the military. Nobody wanted me to go to the military. And then I went, and now guess who was posting all of my graduation photos on Facebook, you know?
Right,
So
right,
it's like you have to follow your heart. You just have to, because the people that love you, they'll eventually get on board. You might have to wait for a bit, but now, I mean, my family is rock solid. They are so proud. They're just so relieved too that it worked out.
right.
But yeah, it's really awesome. And they always knew that I was a performer too. So they're not surprised that I was hell bent on doing this.
Right. What about your friends back home? I mean, you know, I know that they're probably amazed as well, because it's different when you know, you're just saying that you're going to pursue something, but actually seeing you in a movie and on film and commercials and all of this, it's a different when I think, you know, your people are actually seeing it, because you know, some people like you're probably the type like me, like we can kind of see beyond the trees, you know, but
Mm,
our people, they can't really see that far, so it's like it has to be a reality for them to be like, oh yeah, and then you like,
yeah.
hey, look, I'm going to Hollywood and I'm gonna be a famous actress or whatever, like, what? Yeah, right, man, like whatever, you know, because they only can see like what's in front of them. So I think that's kind of like the effect that it was, and now that you've made it a reality, it was a dream and now it's a reality because you're living it and you're doing it. So I think that that's just like, and it's,
Yeah.
and I think that it's inspiration for a lot of people who are who have dreams and inspiring to do something or whatever, but they're afraid as well. Why you think that just from your experience in the business and just stepping out there on faith or whatever to pursue your dreams, why do you think that people are afraid?
It's the fear of failure, I think, because it's like, my family, they had it lodged in their minds that if I went to college, I would be successful.
Right.
And I think that people measure success differently. And so for me, I mean, I'm the most successful person I know, not because
Right.
I made it, not because I have a lot of money or because I don't, but it's because I'm happy. Like I've accepted myself. I'm exactly where I want to be in life. And so for me, I'm like, I'm the most successful person that I know.
Right.
And so I think that people I think they need to change how they measure success, because you could be the most successful person in the world financially or career wise, be miserable.
Right.
And the thing is I know people like that.
Right.
I know
I was just going to tell you, we see it all the time. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
Because in your mind, you're thinking like, man, like this guy's a multi-millionaire. It's like, what are you miserable about? Like you can get anything that you want, but I think it's that inner thing that you're talking about. Like you're happy with actually like with yourself, and you know what I mean. That's
yeah.
It's
amazing. And it's like. It's funny because I wasn't always like this. When I first entered tax collector, I am embarrassed how I was when I first started tax collector. I mean, David Eric, because he's like this. He's very, very deep. He's very spiritual, and I was not. He sat me down and he literally tore me down. He broke every single wall that I had up. I mean, from my childhood, from my military. And he would sit there and in front of the whole crew and stuff, he was like, I want to know your deepest fear. And I'm like, really? I'm not afraid of anything. And so I was just hell-bent on giving out this illusion that I didn't care, that I was emotionless, that no one could hurt me. When the reality is, I mean, we're all spiritual beings, Right. Of course I have a heart. And so I remember the day David broke me, and he had Conejo literally like put me against a wall and like scream in my face everything that I didn't want to hear, really? about I had it in my head that my brothers weren't dead, that they were in El Paso, and that I hadn't seen them because I was traveling, but they'd be there when I got back. And so it was like everything that I didn't want to hear, that my brain wouldn't acknowledge, was just thrown in my face. And I didn't break at the time. Like I remember my hands were in fists, and then I just said, get him away from me, get him away from me. And then afterwards I was driving away and I called David and I could not stop crying. Like I was just sobbing, and it was like everything was just coming out. And I was like, I can't stop. And he's like, okay, don't drive, come back. And so, and we like talked about everything, and he had me write letters to my brothers that were thanking them for being in my life and like letting go and stuff. And so he helped me move from that. And then it was like, and then it kind of, it turned into, you need to figure out what you want out of life. And so oh, sorry, that's the doorbell. But so I had to kind of get everything on the table for who I was inside. And so once that was all out, it was really easy to sort out, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. This is why I want to do it. And I think that a lot of people don't ask themselves that question.
We don't. We just kind of like just go with the flow, like, you know what I'm saying? Or go with what, somebody might think that we should be doing or whatever. But, we never really ask ourselves that question. That's really deep right there.
No, exactly. And so that's kind of what David really, really pushed into my head is, who are you? Why do you want to be that person? Why do you want to do what you say you want to do? And then once I started meeting people that were successful in their fields and everything that they were doing, and I saw that they were really miserable, I was just like, are you asking yourself this question? Why isn't everybody asking themselves this question?
Right. Wow. That's amazing. So, your story is really amazing. Like I said, it really wowed me, because it really takes a lot, and you've really been through some tough times, and to still be shining, and be in good spirits the way that you are, you know I just think that it's incredible, because a lot of people are not mentally strong enough to come back from, you know, you were really close with your brothers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And to lose not one but both of them. That's, you know what I mean. So I just feel like you were um, chosen to carry the torch and to be great. And these doors are opening up for you, and you're growing so much. And not only that, but you also are inspiration to younger people, and you're doing so much to give back. um I just think that it's just amazing, you know and that you really have purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just honored to have you on the show, just to talk to you and to hear your story,
Thank you so much. Um,
Absolutely.
I do hope that I can help out younger people. That I feel like there's two different people that always ask me questions when it comes to acting and making it in LA and stuff. And I mean, I haven't made it yet, but I mean, I'm on my way. And it's kind of like I like when the people come up and they tell me their plan,
Right.
because then I have something to kind of like, okay, awesome. Because otherwise, I feel like people are like, oh yeah, I really want to be an actress, and I'm like, okay,
Right.
what's your plan? And they're
Right.
like, well, I
Right.
don't know. You tell me. What do I do? And it's like, no, you need to pour if you really freaking want this, you have to pour your heart into this. You have to, okay, what can I do next? What can I constantly be doing?
Right.
And if you haven't even started, I don't know where to guide you.
Right. Right. Because
Um,
if you think about it, nobody really done that for you. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Like you just was like, hey, look, Grams, I need you to watch the cat, and I'm out. Hey, what's your plan? Don't have one. I know I need to get to LA. That's where I'm gonna start at. I'll
I
let
mean,
you know when I come up with something, but I'm out.
just start. Just
Right.
start. Like I was in a relationship before I left to LA, and something that he told me. I mean, he's a great person. He just wasn't my person. But something that
Really?
he said was, I was like, I have to go to LA. I have to go to LA. And when I left, he had said, well, everybody says that they're gonna go be an actress, but they never do. And I was like, well, that's your fault for not believing me. That's not my fault that I didn't
Right.
tell you. you
Right.
know.
Right. Right.
Uh, so
Well,
it's like,
how's he feeling these days, though?
I don't know, but I hope that he's happy. Like
Right.
he's
Right.
a good person. I just not my
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Um,
I know he see you though. You know what I'm saying? He's like, damn it, man, I blew it. I blew it, man.
oh no, no. Uh, no, I don't think so. I make it a point where people in my life, I don't like the negative energy, so I
Right.
kind of like, I've always part in peace. If someone screws me over, I never have that blow up. I never have that retribution. I just, thank you for, serving me in that part of my life, but goodbye. you know.
Right. Right. How does it now? It's funny that you say that though. Now, just for anybody who may be struggling in that area or whatever, what do you think gives you the confidence and the air to just to view it that way, because the non-combative way, and just take the more peaceful route? What do you think fuels that for you and helps that for you, just because it may be something that could help somebody who may be struggling in that area, but to hear the inspiration from somebody who I just think that it's helpful.
Um, Honestly, because I know the other side.
Mm.
I know what it's like to be full of hate. I was a very hateful child. I was a hateful young adult.
Really?
Um,
Now,
very hateful.
when you say hate, like what do you mean? Like, is this post before your brothers passed, or like after?
Before, after. I had a rough childhood.
Mm.
And so I carried a lot from that, and I refused to let it go. It was almost like I wanted to do things in spite of what
Uh,
had happened when I was a kid.
right.
And so I was very angry with people. I was very angry at the world. I felt like it was always like that. Oh, why me? Woe's me, you
Oh,
know? And how is that serving me? You know? And then after my brothers were killed, I mean, the guy who killed them, David Ayer, he literally had to sit there and say, do not do anything. Do not try to get back at him. Because I mean, I wanted revenge. I wanted him hurt. You know, like I couldn't see
right.
past the red. And so David kept making me promise that I wouldn't do anything. And I mean, I know that side, and it's not healthy. It's
Right.
not. And then everybody who would ever hurt me, I had something against them.
Right.
And I realized, who am I hurting? I'm not, because they don't care. They don't
Right.
care that I'm hurting. They don't care that I'm angry. They don't
Right.
care at all. They're living their life, you know? And I mean, that guy that literally killed my brothers was denying that he did it, and was running around on bail for, I think, over a year and a half.
Really?
And so, yeah, because he's a liar. But it's like, so it's like, and then he eventually got taken in, and now justice has been served. But
Okay.
for all that time that he was out, it was like I was just so angry. I was in rage.
Right.
And then, you know, after I made those promises, I won't do anything, I started to realize that the only person that I was hurting with that anger and that hate was myself. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
And so it became, you know, how do I best serve myself? How do I best serve my brothers? Because it's not sitting here fuming. And it was kind of it was a gradual change. I think my dojo helped me a lot too. I do MMA, so I started for tax collector to do my own stunts and stuff, but then
Right.
I stuck with it, so I'm a blue belt. And so it was like, I remember I would go to the dojo. My sensei, he's my rock star. He's there 24/7. So I would show up at like midnight, 1 a.m, knock on the door, and he's in there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go hit stuff in the back, and he's like, okay. And I would just go literally hit bags until my knuckles were bloody. I mean, it was because I didn't want to wear the gloves because I wanted to build up the calluses.
Right.
And so I would just hit, and I would be hitting these bags and sobbing. And it was just like, it was teaching me how to let go, though. I had found that was my outlet. And then I was now working on spiritual work to where if I realized I had people in my life that didn't belong there, that I was already an angry person, and these people are just fueling the fire. So my next step was, okay, I have to start eliminating these people from my life.
Right.
And so these people, you would be amazed what happens when you eliminate the toxic people from your life that are constantly just fueling that fire.
Wow.
So started getting rid of friends that I had forever, but I knew were bad for me.
Right.
And then I started going into, okay, what kind of people do I want to surround myself with? And so I invent things in my garage too. So I started going to different business mixers so I could figure out, okay, how do other people get their inventions off the ground? And so I started surrounding myself with these positive, smart, intelligent, amazing people. And it's just like my whole life just started changing. And now I refuse to be angry. I refuse to hold a grudge. And the best thing for me is to let it go, you know, everything. And I'm happy. And like I said, I'm the most freaking successful person that I know because of these choices.
Wow. That's dope. I love to hear that. Now your role in the tax collector, gotta let's talk about that a little bit, because you know, with being an actor, what are some of the things that you do to not allow the character to actually become you? Or is there a way to control that type of stuff? Or can we talk about that?
That was hard. I had never had a big role before like that. And all of a sudden now I'm doing method acting with Shia LaBeouf and David Ayer. That was really hard. And the thing is I remember walking on set, and all I knew at the time was it was going to be me, Bobby, Cynthia, and Conejo. And
Right.
then in walks Shia LaBeouf, in walks Lana Parrilla, in walks George Lopez. And I'm like, what?
Right.
And so now all of a sudden I'm like, well, crap, like I'm the least experienced here, you
I
know?
know, right?
I need to step up my game. I cannot be the weak link here.
Right.
And so I decided to just dive in, literally dove in, and David and Shia, they were very helpful. They were just kind of like, let us guide you and we will bring you back. And
Right.
so I just trusted that they knew what they were doing, and I let go. And that was scary because it got to the point where I didn't know whose thoughts were whose. I didn't know whose were mine. I didn't know whose were Gatha's. I have journals of Gatha's whole history, her childhood, everything that I was writing just to give her more substance. And so it's almost like I started to believe that that was my childhood.
Right.
And so I was walking around with this chip on my shoulder where I was just kind of like looking at everybody like, how am I going to kill you? It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy. And I have friends that were like, they said they were watching me disappear before their eyes.
Wow.
And that I have a friend that was like, literally having lunch with you was like having lunch with a trapped coyote. She's like, because you were just, I was like jittery and I was like looking around at all the exits and like
Right.
trying to
Right.
figure, okay, if someone came in right now, I would do this, I would do this, I would do that, you know, so it was crazy. And then, so we did the movie, and there's parts of filming that I'm watching on screen that I don't remember shooting.
Really?
Yeah, so that's kind of weird. And I know what take it was too, because I remember David, it was when I go out and I opened the door to let in Bobby and Shia, and he had me do it a couple of different ways, and then the last way he came up and he just said, "Be Gata." And I like, I don't know how I did it, but I turned me off and I just became Gata, and that was the take that they used where I'm like biting my lip or something. And so when Tax Collector ended, I spiraled. I couldn't get out of it. I didn't know what to do. And they were trying to tell me how they did it, but I'm like, but yeah, you guys have been doing this forever. I don't know what to do. And now I have a much better handle on it than I did back then. And I'll be able to dive in and jump back out now. Now I know the different rituals. Like you have to pretty much take something of that character and get rid of it. And yeah, it's a process, but now I'm more equipped to do it. At the time, I was nuts, man. I was nuts.
Right. Yeah, you know, because you know, those type of characters like that, you know, you really it really takes a little bit more effort than, you know, let me ask you this though. How much of Gata do you think is it some of you too, would you say?
I honestly believe that Gata is a little bit of anybody. So this is how I like to talk about her. You know, when you're on an airplane and the person next to you is chewing really loud and you just want to get their head and shove and like put it on the thing. You know what I'm talking about? That like primal, like, oh, that's Gata. That is Gata. That is, but she acts on it. So your raw primal instinct, that's her. And she just has no care for what somebody thinks about her when she does it.
Right.
And so for me, I think that if I had taken a different route, I could have been Gata. With that chip on my shoulder that I had when I was younger,
Right.
I mean, I was pretty ruthless. I could have, that was the path that I could have taken too. And I feel like my choices today, like to this day, have made it so I'm not her.
Right.
But I think that anybody could become Gata. I think that she's just raw inhibition. She's, you know, when she had so much happen to her when she was younger that she grew up and just stopped caring about humanity.
Right.
And
exactly.
that could be anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely could be. And I think it is a lot of people as well. Shifting gears a bit with everything that's going on, and it is a lot going on out here in the world or whatever. I just would like to get your perspective on and thoughts on everything that's going on and how things have impacted you from COVID to protest, senseless deaths that's going on, the racial hate that's going on in the world, the division that's going on in the world. I would just like to get your feelings and thoughts on how it has impacted you.
Um, I'm very empathetic, so I feel heavy. You know, I just like when I watch the news in America, I just feel heavy. I'm in Australia right now, and it's just it's so hard to see, you know, my people over there suffering like that.
Right.
And especially because I come from El Paso, where I just didn't really know racism. You know, El Paso's very. I mean, there is racism. There's racism everywhere, but
Everyone.
it's kind of limited over there. And then I joined the military, and all of a sudden, I'm exposed to even more racism, where people don't like me just because I'm Latina. And I remember I couldn't put my mind in their mind as to why they hated me, because I was like, I've never done anything to you. What do you mean you
Right.
hate me? And
Right.
and I remember at the time there was two very big racists in the military that I really had to deal with. And one of them, I responded in hate. I responded with hate, and I just was mean back. And I felt like him and we had this thing where it's like it was just constantly an exchange of negativity, negative energy, and that wasn't getting me anywhere. You know,
Right.
that person still didn't like me. I'm supposed to trust this man with my life,
Right.
and he hates me, and I hate him now. And then this other one, I decided to change it up a bit.
Right.
And so I responded with love. And you know, he was just really mean to me, and I would joke back, or I would make fun of myself back. And he would like kind of get that chuckle, and he's like, all right, Hernandez, all right. And so eventually he became my friend. And so it's like when I see all this stuff and I see these protests, I'm like, there you go, yes, 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 because it's like you have to do it in love. You cannot fight hate with hate. You just can't.
Right.
It's not, because then it becomes who's more stubborn.
Yeah.
You know, who's more stubborn? Who's gonna keep it up for the longest?
Right.
And I feel like every single person that's just been a jerk to me and I've responded in love, it's like they don't know what to do, because they look like an idiot, and they know that they look like an idiot.
Absolutely.
And so I'm loving seeing these protests where people are stopping and like hugging cops, or just like responding in love and just being peaceful about it. I'm loving that. And I do. It sucks when I see people fighting and stuff, because I'm like, no, like that's not. It's just gonna make it worse, you know. And I feel like, I don't know. Well, one, we need to change up who's in charge, you know, because it's just the hate that people are learning. It's a learned behavior, hate. It's not something that we're born with.
No.
And I feel like everybody's just watching the hate on the news, and then you go outside and then they start even more hate, and it's so bad. But yeah, it's sad, and I don't really know a way forward right now, because everybody's just on a different path.
It's weird energy, like you know, and I'm like you, like I've you know, of course it always existed, but at the same time, you know, I never really like experienced it on that type of level. Like, and I've got stopped by cops all the time, and I just got stopped by a cop, state trooper or whatever, you know. But it is weirder now though, because it's like now when you get stopped, it's like, you know, I'm in my mind, I'm automatically thinking like, okay, cool. You know, while he got the lights on and we're in motion and I'm trying to find a safe place to pull over, I'm already getting my license out already, you know. So by the time I pull over, I don't have to do anything sudden. I got my window down. I'm letting that down while I'm getting ready to pull over. I got my license out all in one motion, and I got my hands out the window. Just like, and that's exactly what I did. And then he rolled up, and then he, driver, step out of the vehicle. I step out. I already got my license already. Here you go. He's like, where you heading to? I'm like, I'm on my way to work. I open up, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, walked off, came back, told me slow it down and let me go on about my way. No problem. And that's always been the case with me. I guess the thing with me, that I just try to understand is, how do it get to that level of, you know what I'm saying, to the level of somebody dying? That's the part that I'm just trying to figure out. How does a routine stop get to, in any case, get to the point of somebody being shot 6 times? What you think about it?
Well, so before I joined the military, I was exploring being a police officer. And
Right.
so I went and I joined Police Explorers, which is we go on ride-alongs with cops and stuff. And there was this one cop, and I looked up to him. I thought that he was just a hero, and
Right.
he is. He was. I've never seen him again, but he was. And then I remember when we were learning about tasing and all that. I heard a cop in there say, and he was like, he's like, be careful. If somebody looks really dressed up and they look important, be careful how you treat them. But if somebody rolls up and they look kind of like a hoodlum, you can have a little fun. And
Really?
I just I remember I was just that feeling of disgust.
Right.
And I looked at some other kids next to me, and they were kind of like, it's the reaction of a child, a reaction of a child that's experiencing hate for the first time.
Right.
And we were just shocked. And I remember my grandma, she had just bought me, we needed these certain belts for Police Explorers, and I couldn't afford it. And so I was the only one who didn't have one. And she finally bought one for me. And I said, oh, Mama, I don't, it's too much money. Let's take it back. And I was like, I don't need to be going. And I quit. And I mean, unless she watches this might be when she finds out why I quit. But I told her it was because of the belt. That was too much money, but I just didn't want to be there. I lost so much respect that day. And since I've gained some back, because since then I've met good police officers and I've met rotten ones.
Right.
And I feel like it's with anything else. It's you have the bad apples, and unfortunately the good apples suffer because of the bad apples.
Right.
And
do you think that it's a learned, like you were saying, do you think that it's a learned behavior, or I've even heard something along the lines to where some things are kind of taught within the you're kind of reprogrammed when going through the academy and different things like that, or whatever. Even the military, you're reprogrammed to think a certain type of way and react a certain type of way. How true is that? What would you say that is?
I don't know, because the thing is though, in the military, those couple of racists, nobody liked them. Nobody wanted to talk to them, because the reality is your life depends on the person next to you when you're in the armed forces, and in police too. And so if you can't trust this person, and you know how hateful and awful this person is, you're not really going to want to hang out with them.
Absolutely.
And I found in the military, the racists, you knew who they were, and nobody really wanted to hang out with them.
Right.
And as far as the police go, when I was there, I realized that guy, nobody really talked to him. And so it's almost like I feel like they have it in them already, and it's like bubbling, and they're pushing everybody away from them by letting this happen. And then it's almost like they need to show their muscles, they need to show that they're badass or something, and so they do stuff like that.
Right.
And it's just it's crazy to me, because I don't think that they realize that right there makes you the weakest person out of the whole
bunch.
battalion. out of
Exactly.
everybody. Like, you just made yourself, congratulations, you are now the weakest, most disgusting piece of crap here.
Right.
But
Right.
they don't realize that, because to them it's just like, let me show you how big mine is, like it's like,
Right.
I don't get it, how to them that measures, like, that's what measures manliness, that's what measures
Right.
how badass you are.
My thing is, though, not to cut you off, my thing is like, how do how can you really know the quality of, or the type of person that you are actually hiring? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what could be put in place to not hire the people who was bullied when they was in school? I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, or whatever. Like, how could we cipher out, who's really who, to know what type of product that we're going to get as people that's in these type of positions that's supposed to protect and serve? How
Well,
can you
first
really
off,
know?
psych evals. I mean, when you want to be a police officer, that's one of the last things that gets checked, is how sane you are. Like,
Right.
how crazy is that? That's one of the last things that gets checked.
Right.
And then in the military too, they shouldn't have let me in. I was very sane. So I'm like, I pulled one over on you guys. So
Right.
like, I wasn't a very sane person when I joined the military. Just because I was so angry,
Right.
and so, and they might have known that, had they done a psych eval on me and said, you know what, I don't know, this girl's got a big chip on her shoulder, she shouldn't be here. Like,
Right.
thank God I pulled through and I was fine and I didn't, beat anyone up or anything.
Right.
But that was a real possibility, and I think that they should have the psych evals first. How sane are you before we waste all this money on your training? How sane are you? And not only that, but then later on, I feel like what really impacts the community, and my fiance and I talk about this all the time, is that when something goes down, when someone gets shot and killed, and everybody knows that that was not fair, that wasn't justice.
Right.
The people come out and protect the person that did it. I would
Right.
I would respect so much more if somebody says, all right, guys, this looks really bad. We get how bad this looks. We're sorry to the families that this happened to. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to do a full investigation,
Right.
So that people feel like they're being heard, not just put a blanket over it. And
Exactly.
I mean, communication is key for everything.
Right.
And I mean, just come out and own up,
Right.
like, crap, guys, this is really bad.
Because we see it, and we see it, and we know, and I think that's what's really intensifying the anger with everybody, because it's like, you can't see something with your own eyes physically and just see that that's wrong, and then come back and then try to put a blanket on it and make it seem like it's something that we got to further look into to see, because there might been some form of justification of why this happened, when we blatantly, the whole world, see that this was clearly not protocol, clearly. So that just lets you know the type of world that we living in.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but what is protocol now? It's whatever people say
what is protocol?
So, and that was the thing with the military too, is that, we would get these orders and you can't ask why. And so it's sometimes I feel for the cops, because it's like they're doing what they were told to do. But I want to know who freaking told you to do that.
Exactly.
If you're just a monkey clapping like this and doing what you're told, who told you to do it then? And so it's like, I feel like the accountability needs to go higher. Who's calling the shots here then? All right, if you don't want to come out and say that this person is doing wrong, okay, then how did that happen? What happened to where this was even a possibility, where this, like Breonna Taylor, how?
Right. Like that, that whole story makes no sense at all. It's like, all you got to use is common sense on that whole situation, because it's like, okay, you just shot a person 7-8 times who was walking to the vehicle, you know, walking to his vehicle, getting in his vehicle or whatever, you can see the cop shove him further into the vehicle and just start blasting them and blasting them, blah, 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 blah. Then you got a guy with the Breonna Taylor situation who clearly the guy shot back. In any other case, this guy would have been dead, right? That's justification. Once a gun is out, that's a imminent threat. So that's justification to kill him. This guy lives, but the one that was in the bed is, I'm just saying, like, it's got to make some type of sense. You can't just tell us anything.
Yeah, my heart just breaks for her because I mean, she's in bed, you know.
You bypassed the shooter who shot you, shot out there too. You know what I'm saying? And go past him. You know, okay, he shot one of the cops in the leg. Forget him. We're gonna go to bed.
And I just like for that, you know, everything that happened there. Come out and say this looks bad, guys. All right, yeah, at least
as a superior, exactly.
You know, like at least come out and empathize, be freaking human. You know, that was one thing that really got me in the military too, is that, you know, it was just so emotionless. And right. It's like I get it, you have to be like that for wartime, I get it. But when we were in garrison, it was very similar situations, and where it's like it's black or white. You right. know, and the thing is that nothing is ever black and white. You know, there's gray all over.
Oh,
and so I want to know what's in that gray. You know, the black and white is oh, he was shooting, so they shot back and now she's dead. But I want to know all about the gray on what really happened.
Exactly.
And I feel like there's so many answers that people need and want, and people are angry. And if somebody would just come out and like I said earlier, just say like, okay, guys, you know what? This is bad. We're going to get to the bottom of this. This will not happen again. This is what we're going to implement to make damn sure that
not tolerate this. I mean, anything that would at least calm the world down. But I mean, it's just like, yo, like, what do you, I just, you know, it's just, it's really, really sad. And you and I could talk about this all day long. Tax Collector is out right now. This is a very exciting time. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of something so special. Let's do some shout outs real quick before we get out of here. Anybody you want to shout out? Family, people that you got love for, your crew, anybody you want to shout out right now, give them some love.
Mom, dad, mama, papa, grandmama, my sensei, my fiance Simon. I have just a huge family.
Right. Everybody, she's shouting out everybody. She love y'all, all of her fans. She love y'all. Also, what can we look forward to in the future? And also plug in, where could they find Tax Collector right now?
Tax Collector is on Amazon Prime. I think it's on Google TV and a few others, but I always just say Amazon Prime because I have a bad memory. What was the other question?
And also anything else that we can look forward to in the future?
So I just did this show called Rumors, and it's a series where I play I play a girl that she is gay, but she's terrified to come out. So she actually gets married to a man and then comes back to her childhood girl love. And she's trying to kind of rekindle that. So that was a lot of fun to play. Just a bunch of hardworking people on that project. And I'm very excited to see that come out. I don't know where it's going to come out yet, but if you follow me on Instagram, Cheyenne Rae _Hernandez.
I follow you.
I'll follow you back. So we can rant more.
Yeah. For real. Like, okay, and okay, so when can we expect that? Is that coming?
Right now they're just doing the coming soon thing. And I don't know how long that is, but I am posting updates when I get them. So I just recently posted the first look at my character in that show. So that's already out.
Okay, cool. So when that drops or whatever, you're gonna come back on and we're gonna talk about that.
Yes. I have a lot to talk about on that one too.
Absolutely. You gotta
I can tell.
you gotta
Jelly.
put us, hopefully you put the Vibe Show on your media list now. So whenever you're making your media run, you always can come back and visit because now
Definitely.
you're family now. Once you do the Vibe Show, you're a Vibe family now. You're part of the
Definitely.
Vibe
Definitely.
family. So and we gotta do a part two because I didn't, you're deep with it too, and you're woke, and I would like to bring you on because we're getting ready to launch our table talk Vibe One. We're getting ready to launch that, and it's basically going to be like an a topic type of table talk type of thing or whatever where we can actually talk about different viewpoints, different issues, and I would like to have you on there as a guest as well. But we're following each other now, so I'll keep you in the
Yeah.
on that and bring you on there as a guest as well because I love your viewpoint and the way that you view life, and you've been through can't never be experience in life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So man, listen, we are wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing right now, man, and everything that you're doing that you're gonna be doing in the future. And sky's the limit for you. I cannot wait to have you back on here again. Seriously, like I really, really enjoyed myself for real.
Thanks, me too. And right back at you with all that.
Let's put those social platforms out there in ways that people can follow you and get connected.
Okay. Yeah, it's just pretty much Instagram. Yeah, that's the Cheyenne Rae _Hernandez. I'm really bad at the tweeter. I'm not good at it. So
Me either. Look, we've been dropping gems all day. Before we get out of here, though, we are living in some tough times right now, and we're praying that things get better. But it's a lot of people that's really low in spirit right now. A lot of people out of jobs, lost their jobs. A lot of people lost loved ones. A lot of people just really low and going through it or whatever. Can you leave them with some anything, some words of uplift or encouragement, anything that could kind of bring their spirits up?
well, one, when you lose loved ones, they're never lost. I constantly am feeling my brothers, and I wholeheartedly believe that our ancestors are with us 24/7. And they come back to watch over us. And as far as everything going on in life, getting you down, just find that one thing a day that will make you inspired and happy. Go for a walk. I mean, go just sit outside, paint, pick up a new hobby, just constantly feed your art. Everybody has an artistic side to them. Feed that, and I think that people will start to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. That is definitely going to be a help for anybody that may be low in spirit. You guys make sure you latch on to that. Tax Collector is out right now. You guys make sure y'all go see it. It is an amazing movie, and you will see all the things that we were talking about and see my special guest character. Oh my God, you are going to be in for a treat. Again, I'm so grateful for this amazing opportunity to hang out with you again, and I cannot wait to have you back on here again. But like I say, we follow each other now. So
yeah, anytime.
I will be in touch. It's the Vibe Show with my special guest, the one and only Cheyenne Rae Hernandez. We love you. Vibe Show. That was my special guest, man, the one and only Cheyenne Rae Hernandez. Y'all better make sure y'all go and see that movie, The Tax Collector. It's definitely an exclusive, man. And make sure that you follow my special guest right now on Instagram at Cheyenne Rae _Hernandez. And Tax Collector. It's definitely streaming on all platforms. Y'all make sure y'all get connected, man, and stop playing games out here. People working hard. Vibe Show. Y'all make sure y'all follow me. If you're not following me, Kano the Don at 2975 on Instagram, man. Also, log on to www.thevibeshow979.net for the latest updates on our more exclusive guests coming up, man, and all type. We got exclusive music streaming 24/7 and all the latest news updates as well. Log on and get connected. We are moving out here. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Y'all know my slogan: peace, love, and blessings to everybody. I love y'all. Me and Cheyenne, we are out of here. We love y'all. We out.